For decades, the relationship between India and the Gulf has been defined by oil and the diaspora. India imports 53% of its oil and 41% of its gas from West Asia. Over 8.5 million Indians work in the region. Many of them are engaged in the oil industry. In 2018, India's total remittances stood at around $78.6 billion. Of this, $48.6 billion had come from the 6 GCC or Gulf Cooperation Council countries. While these figures are huge, India's ties with West Asia cannot be anchored on oil and diaspora alone. And what better time to talk about untapped avenues and newer opportunities than now? The world has been forced to change ways because of the Wuhan virus. Flights are grounded, vehicular movement is limited, energy demands are low, and the world is learning to live with this new normal. And this is the perfect time for New Delhi to look at new avenues of cooperation that could also be long-lasting. Sovereign wealth funds, for example. By sovereign wealth funds, I mean state-owned investment funds where a government invests its surplus reserves in the country and outside. The sovereign state funds are worth billions, sometimes even trillion. The Abu Dhabi Investment Authority is worth $579.6 billion. Kuwait Investment Authority, $533.6 billion. Saudi Arabia's Public Investment Fund, $347 billion. The Investment Corporation of Dubai, $305.2 billion. These numbers are from the Sovereign Wealth Fund Institute, and here's what they mean. West Asia has spending capacity. India, on the other hand, has investment opportunities and unmatched potential. You see, sovereign wealth funds are invested in places where the governments can generate good returns for the citizens and grow assets. Investing in India comes with that guarantee. Saudi Arabia's $347 billion sovereign wealth fund is very crucial to Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman's Vision 2030. Look at where he has invested some of that money. India's Jio Platforms Limited. As India eyes a $5 trillion economy, it can attract sovereign wealth funds in several growing companies across sectors. Here's where else India can expand its cooperation with West Asia. Trade. The total bilateral trade between India and the GCC stood at $121.34 billion in 2018-19. At $60 billion, the UAE was India's third biggest trade partner in the year 2018-19. Saudi Arabia was the fourth biggest trade partner, with bilateral trade amounting to $34.03 billion. The UAE was also among the top 10 sources of FDI inflows into India. But the fact of the matter is, it is energy trade that is still the anchor of the India-West Asia economic equation. And that trade basket needs to be diversified. Given especially the Wuhan virus situation and the fall in the energy demands, goods like precious metals, food, agriculture products, chemicals, gems, jewelry, textile, they must all be included in this trade basket. India must also focus on sector-specific investment. Major oil companies of West Asia are already developing a strategic partnership with the Indian companies, both in the public and the private sector. A $15 billion deal was announced between Saudi Aramco and Reliance Industry. India's ONGC Videsh has acquired a 10% stake in offshore oil concession in Abu Dhabi. Sebasik Oman, which is an Indo-Oman venture, is setting up West Asia's largest Sebasik acid plant for $1.2 billion. The topic of expanding cooperation came up during the discussion between India's External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar and his counterpart in Bahrain. They agreed to further strengthen Bahrain-India ties in the areas of defense and maritime security, space, technology, trade, investment, infrastructure, IT, fintech, health, hydrocarbon, renewable energy. The list is long. Speaking specifically of infrastructure now, India's construction firm Larsen & Toubro has a key role in the high-speed rail project linking Mecca and Medina. Other Indian companies like Tata, Wipro, TCS, Shapoorji & Pallonji also have a region-wide presence. As West Asia opens up and diversifies its economy, India must also look at diversifying the quality of its diaspora in the region. Over a fourth of all NRIs or non-resident Indians live in the 6 Gulf states. 53% of those migrants come from Uttar Pradesh, Bihar and Rajasthan alone. The vast majority of the diaspora is either semi-skilled or unskilled. So going forward, Indians need to ensure that they tap into the growing opportunity in the Gulf by applying for more white-collar jobs. The Wuhan virus pandemic has shown how India and the Gulf can successfully work together in the most trying times. West Asia helped New Delhi in the evacuation mission in the middle of the global lockdowns. Several repatriation flights were flown in and out of the region. India also flew food items, fruits, vegetables to the Gulf, supplied medicines on request. Going forward, India and West Asia must explore avenues of cooperation on the Wuhan virus vaccines, be it through investment or high-tech collaborations.